Picture two AI agents. The first forgets your name every session, forces you to re-explain your subscription tier for the 10th time, and re-asks a question you already answered 2 messages ago. The second is the opposite problem. It drags around a bloated memory system, running vector search on every single message, even for a one-off question that never needed to be remembered at all. Both agents are broken for the same underlying reason. Somebody skipped a design question that should have been answered before a single line of storage code was written. How long should this piece of information actually live, and how should it be retrieved later? Most teams treat agent memory as one big architectural decision, one system to rule every category of information. That is the mistake. Today we are walking through a 5-question decision tree that classifies memory requirement by requirement, category by category, so every piece of information your agent handles lands in exactly the layer it actually needs, no more, no less. Let's build this properly from first principles. Before the decision tree, you need to understand what each memory layer actually assumes about the information you hand it, because picking the wrong layer is where almost every failure starts. There are 4 layers total. Working memory assumes everything relevant right now lives inside the active conversation and a finite token budget, and that trimming or summarizing older turns will not quietly drop something the agent still needs. Semantic memory assumes certain information is stable and reusable enough that storing one canonical version beats repeatedly inferring or re-asking for it. Episodic memory assumes the history of what happened carries value on its own, a record of past decisions or complaints that should inform the next interaction. Procedural memory assumes that solving the same shape of task repeatedly should make the agent faster or more reliable on the next attempt, not just leave behind a transcript. These 4 layers answer 4 genuinely different questions about information. That is exactly why most production agents end up relying on more than just one of them working together. Let's slow down on working memory specifically, because it is the layer everyone reaches for first and the layer most commonly misused. Working memory is scoped entirely to the current conversation. It holds what has already been asked, which tools have already been called, and what has already been resolved in this exact session. The moment the session ends, working memory is meant to disappear. That is not a bug, that is the design. It is typically implemented as a conversation buffer, kept within bounds through trimming or summarization as the conversation grows too long for the model's context window. The OpenAI Agents SDK actually handles session-based memory management directly, giving you this exact pattern out of the box. The critical failure mode here runs in 2 directions. Trim too aggressively or summarize carelessly, and the agent starts re-asking questions the user already answered 3 turns ago. Deeply frustrating. Or the opposite mistake. Engineers build permanent, persistent infrastructure for information that genuinely only needed to survive the current conversation, adding real complexity for zero actual benefit. Now, semantic memory, the layer for stable, reusable facts. This is where a user's name, their subscription tier, their preferred tone, or a default shipping address belong, because re-asking for the same fact every single session is worse user experience than just storing it once as a canonical record. Semantic memory also covers domain knowledge, business rules, product specifications, and generalized knowledge distilled from many repeated interactions over time. The test for whether something belongs here is simple. Is inferring or re-asking for this fact more expensive than just storing it? If yes, semantic memory is the answer. Implementation-wise, this usually means a structured profile record for simple user attributes, a knowledge graph for relationships between entities, or a vector database when the knowledge needs to be searched semantically rather than looked up by exact key. The danger with semantic memory is staleness. A fact stored once and never updated becomes actively wrong over time, silently feeding incorrect context into every future conversation until someone eventually notices and manually fixes the outdated record. Episodic memory is a different animal entirely. It is not about facts, it is about events. This is the layer for a complaint filed last month, a decision made during an earlier project phase, or a pattern of behavior observed across several separate interactions over time. The defining property of episodic memory is that the history itself carries value, not just the current resolved state. If a customer complained about the same shipping issue 3 times in the last 2 months, that pattern is genuinely useful context for the 4th interaction, even though each individual complaint was already resolved when it happened. Episodic memory is typically implemented as a growing log, where entries accumulate over time and older entries may eventually need summarizing or pruning as the log grows unbounded. Retrieval here is usually by recency or by relevant search rather than a full read, because unlike a small semantic profile, an episodic log can grow very large very fast, and reading the entire history on every single turn quickly becomes impractical at any real scale. The 4th layer, procedural memory, is the one teams add last and often skip entirely, and importantly, it sits on top of the other 3 rather than replacing any single one of them. Procedural memory presumes that solving the same shape of task repeatedly should make the agent faster or more reliable on the next attempt, not just leave behind a transcript of past attempts to sift through manually. Picture a customer support agent as a complete example. The current ticket lives in working memory, the customer subscription tier lives in semantic memory, past complaints live in episodic memory, and a learned, refined refund handling routine sharpened across hundreds of prior refund tickets lives in procedural memory. Each of these 4 layers is doing genuinely distinct work inside the same single agent, and none of the other 3 layers can substitute for what procedural memory provides. The critical distinction to hold onto here: procedural memory stores the distilled lesson extracted from experience, not a raw replay of exactly what happened during any single past attempt. Here is where things go wrong in practice, and it happens more often than you would expect. Using a vector store for stable facts that clearly belong in a structured profile makes retrieval slower and measurably less reliable than a simple structured lookup would have been. Searching an entire interaction history for information that should have lived in a small semantic profile can surface stale or flatly contradictory information that a proper structured record would simply have overwritten cleanly the moment it changed. And this connects directly to a bigger principle: effective context engineering. Memory is just one source competing for a strictly limited context window alongside the system prompt, the current conversation, and any tool outputs. Information should only ever be retrieved into that window if it meaningfully improves the agent's actual response, not merely because a memory system technically contains it somewhere. Every irrelevant fact pulled into context is not neutral. It is diluting the model's attention away from the details that genuinely matter for the response it is about to generate. So how do you actually decide which layer a given piece of information belongs in? Run a 5-question decision tree, once per category of information, not once for your whole agent. A support agent's current ticket, its stored account details, and its complaint history are 3 completely separate categories, and each one can land in a genuinely different place on this tree. Question 1. Does this information need to persist beyond the current turn at all? Question 2. Does it need to survive beyond a single session? Question 3. Is it a stable fact or an evolving event? Question 4. How will this memory actually be retrieved at scale? And question 5. Does the agent need to learn a reusable procedure from repetition? Answer all 5 questions honestly for one category, and you land precisely on the memory layer that category needs. No more infrastructure than necessary, no missing capability either. Let's walk through every single one of these 5 questions in detail, with real code showing exactly how each decision gets made. Question 1 separates information that genuinely needs memory from information that only looks like it does at first glance. On screen, a simple Python classifier function representing this first branch. Self-contained information needs 0 memory, the wording of a one-off classification request, or the intermediate output of a tool call used only to answer the current question. Both die naturally the moment the turn ends. Information that carries forward is different, which issue a support agent already resolved earlier this exact conversation, or the state of a coding project an agent is picking back up from yesterday. If the information is self-contained, the answer is simple. No memory layer is needed at all, and the context window for that single turn is already enough on its own. If it needs to carry forward into future turns, you move on to question 2. This first gate alone eliminates an enormous amount of unnecessary memory infrastructure that teams build purely out of habit, before they've actually asked whether the information needed to survive past the current exchange. Question 2 separates working memory from anything that genuinely needs to be durable across sessions and restarts. On screen, the classifier function extended with the session boundary check. Within session-only information includes what has already been asked, which tools have already been called, and what has already been resolved in this exact conversation. A simple conversation buffer is sufficient here, kept within bounds through trimming or summarization as the exchange grows longer. The OpenAI agent's SDK handles this exact session-based pattern directly out of the box. Beyond the session is a different category entirely: a returning customer's preferences, an ongoing project's accumulated state, or a multi-day task spanning several separate conversations. Working memory alone cannot handle any of these, because the information genuinely has to exist independently of any single conversation thread. If only within session continuity matters for this category, working memory is your complete answer. If it needs to outlive the session, you continue on to question 3. The common mistake here is mismatching lifetime, treating session scope state as permanent, or the exact reverse. Question 3 is the one teams skip most often, dumping everything that needs to persist into one undifferentiated store regardless of its actual shape. On screen, the classifier extended again, this time branching on stability versus change. Stable facts are things like a name, a subscription tier, a preferred tone, or a default shipping address. Persistent knowledge that remains valid across sessions and is more valuable stored as one canonical fact than repeatedly re-asked or re-inferred. Evolving events are different. A complaint filed last month, a decision made during an earlier project phase, or a pattern of behavior observed across several interactions over time. Some frameworks build this temporal dimension directly into their storage layer. ZEP, for example, models facts on a knowledge graph where each fact carries an explicit validity window, so a superseded fact gets properly invalidated instead of silently contradicting the newer one sitting right next to it. Mostly facts routes to semantic memory. Mostly history routes to episodic memory instead. Then it's on to retrieval, the 4th question in the tree. Question 4 is about matching retrieval strategy to the actual size, structure, and growth rate of the memory store, instead of applying one single retrieval pattern everywhere by default. On screen, the classifier's fourth branch, checking store size. A small, bounded store, a handful of user facts, or a single compact profile should simply be read in full at the start of every session. Anthropic's memory tool works exactly this way, because the store stays small enough that a complete read is genuinely inexpensive to perform. A large, searchable store, an entire interaction history, a document corpus, or an expanding knowledge base needs something smarter. Retrieve only the most relevant entries through semantic search or hybrid retrieval, because reading everything quickly becomes impractical as the store grows. Google's memory bank is purpose-built for exactly this scale, and MEM0 offers a comparable, provider-independent approach usable with langgraph or CrewAI. Many real agents genuinely need both patterns operating simultaneously. A full read profile alongside similarity search over a much larger, constantly growing episodic log. Question 5 is the final branch, and it is the only one that asks whether the agent should actually get better over time rather than just remembering things. On screen, the complete 5-branch decision function, all 5 questions assembled into one callable Python routine. A recurring task shape that should improve with repetition, the same kind of code ref actor, the same category of support ticket, is worth distilling into procedural memory, so the agent applies a genuinely refined routine on attempt 50 instead of just replaying attempt 1 from scratch. A one-off or non-repeating task skips this layer entirely. Whatever semantic or episodic memory you already chose earlier is sufficient on its own, and adding procedural memory here would be pure unearned complexity. The key design decision at this final layer is what actually gets written down. Raw logs of past runs are episodic memory by definition. Procedural memory instead stores the distilled lessons, the successful steps, and the reusable strategies extracted from those raw experiences, written specifically for future application, not as a historical record. Running this tree once per category produces a full memory profile for your agent, not a single answer for the whole thing, and combining those profiles is where the real architecture emerges. Take a coding agent. Working memory holds the current session's edits, semantic memory holds user preferences and tooling knowledge, episodic memory holds the history of changes across every past project, and procedural memory holds reusable test and verify workflows sharpened through repeated use over time. Now compare that to a simple FAQ agent which may only need working memory, full stop, because none of its information genuinely needs to persist beyond the current conversation at all. Both outcomes are completely valid results of running the exact same 5-question process. The difference comes entirely from the type of information each specific agent actually needs to retain and how it needs to use that information afterward. This is the core insight worth internalizing. Memory architecture isn't a single upfront choice you make once. It's an emergent property of correctly classifying every category of information your agent will ever handle. Let's put the entire decision tree into one complete working Python function you can actually run yourself. On screen, a classify_memory function that takes a category's properties as arguments, persists beyond _session, is _stable, store _size, and improves with _repetition, and returns the correct memory layer as a string, following the exact 5 branches we just walked through in order. Call it with the properties of a current ticket wording, and it returns none, meaning no memory needed at all. Call it with customer subscription tier, and it returns semantic. Call it with shipping complaint history, and it returns episodic. Call it with refund handling task pattern, and it returns procedural. This function is deliberately simple, 5 nested if statements, nothing more, but that simplicity is the entire point. The decision tree was never meant to be clever machine learning. It is meant to force an explicit, auditable answer to a question most teams currently answer through instinct or copy-pasted boilerplate, which is exactly how memory systems end up handling facts, history, and session state through one undifferentiated store. Even with the right layer chosen for every category, memory implementations still fail in predictable, recurring ways in production. So let's map the common symptoms to their real underlying causes. First, the agent re-asks for information already given this exact session. The likely cause is working memory trimmed too aggressively, or summarization quietly dropping the relevant detail. The fix is widening the retained window or improving what the summary actually keeps, not bolting on an entirely new long-term memory layer which solves the wrong problem. Second, retrieval returns irrelevant or flatly contradictory results. The likely cause is stable facts and evolving events mixed together into one undifferentiated store. The fix is splitting them cleanly. A small structured store for facts, a separate growing log for events. Third, semantic memory silently gets overwritten with bad information. The likely cause is no validation or versioning happening at right time. The fix is adding confirmation, versioning, or a review step before any single new fact is ever allowed to replace an existing one already sitting in the store. 2 more pitfalls worth knowing before you ship. Fourth, procedural memory never seems to actually improve anything, no matter how many tasks the agent completes. The likely cause is that the store holds raw replays of past runs rather than genuinely distilled lessons extracted from them. The fix is writing the digested lesson learned from each attempt, not a full transcript of the attempt itself. Remember, procedural memory is about future application, not historical record keeping. Fifth, and most common of all, one single memory system ends up handling facts, history, and session state all at once, jammed together. The likely cause is that every category of information was forced through the exact same store instead of being classified separately from the start. The fix is running the decision tree per category and genuinely letting each one land on the layer it actually needs, even if that means running 3 or 4 different storage systems side by side inside the same agent. Predictable failures, predictable fixes, once you know exactly what to look for. Let's bring this all together. The decision tree turns agent memory design into a set of clear, defensible choices instead of one default architecture applied everywhere out of habit. It forces 4 questions before a single line of storage code gets written. How long should this information persist? Is it a stable fact or a past event? How will it be retrieved later? And does it represent a reusable behavior that can improve future tasks? Most memory problems trace back to one root cause, treating every piece of information an agent handles as the same type of data. When working, semantic, episodic, and procedural memory each serve a genuinely different purpose and require a different storage and retrieval strategy. Effective agents combine these 4 layers based on what actually needs to persist, how it should be retrieved, and whether it should improve future behavior. Run this 5-question tree on your agent's information categories this week. If this framework saved you from building memory infrastructure you never needed, subscribe, and tell us which layer your agent is missing.